for the weekend. So that is tonight. The remainder of the month, by the way, because people have asked, you can use the promo code FLOWER at CLE Clothing Company. That'll give you 20% off whatever you buy. I think the brand new Buzzard Wild Thing baseball tees, are they up yet?
Yeah,
we got them. Yeah.
Yeah, I think they're.
So anytime we drop new Buzzard merch, it's always, if you're a fan, in your best interest to grab them as quickly as you can because they always sell out very quickly, and we usually just do 1, maybe 2 runs of them. But it's a good-looking shirt. So CLE Clothing Co. Online, just use Flower if you're ordering or if you're in one of their stores for the remainder of the month. A couple weeks left to use that. What did I read? That it was this day in 1981 that Len Barker for the Cleveland Indians threw the second perfect game in franchise history at Cleveland Stadium.
Go, Len.
Len Barker against the Toronto Blue Jays, the jerks of the sky, as we've learned. Is Cleveland Stadium where Brown Stadium is now? Where was Cleveland Stadium?
Yeah, it was in where Brown Stadium is, I believe.
Okay.
I was very young when.
You didn't go to games there?
I went to a few, but I was like a child, small child.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I'm pretty sure it's right there.
Len Barker, who is still alive. He's 68 years old. He pitched the 10th perfect game in baseball history. Plays the Rangers and the Indians, the Braves, the Brewers. Made his way around. But, perfect game, for people unfamiliar with baseball lingo, perfect game is when at the end of the game, everybody comes up to you and tells you what a great, great job you did. That doesn't always happen. You know, a lot of times because you're so used to these people, it's like any workplace situation. You know, your teammates are your coworkers, and you can kind of start to take them for granted. So you're not always getting pats on the back, or you're not always getting attaboys from your coworkers and your teammates. But a perfect game is when each and every one of them comes up to you afterwards and says, man, you did a great job, as I understand it.
That was perfect.
Mm-hmm. So, that perfect game on a damp, cold night, just like that Avril Lavigne song.
Right.
On a damp, cold night in Cleveland, he pitched the 10th official perfect game in baseball history, beating the Blue Jays 3-0. Final out of the game was a fly ball caught by Rick Manning. Said that his pitching was so consistent that he never reached ball 3 against any Blue Jays hitter. So 1981. This
That's
day in
real
1981 they did that. Yeah. Really good. Now, that's no Doc Ellis, but I mean, not everybody can be. That was a no-hitter. What Doc Ellis pitched for the Buccos when he was on LSD. If you've ever seen that documentary, you've seen that, yes? The Doc Ellis documentary?
No, but I know about him pitching the no-hitter on acid. And,
on acid, yeah.
Walking like 8 people or something.
Yeah. It's called No, a documentary. Of course, documentary has a K in it. Doc Ellis. Now, that's a guy I don't know if Doc Ellis is still alive. Sorry. Oh, no, he died in 2008. Died right before Christmas. And as luck would have it, they tried to save his life with LSD.
Oh.
And it didn't work. He died due to liver failure. Because a lot of those guys back then, they partied hard, boy. Partied hard.
Drinking.
Yeah.
Doing coke.
All of it.
Mm-hmm.
You can't believe, for all that we were talking about, what's his name that tested positive for PEDs? Tristan Thompson or whatever that was. And, for all of the hand-wringing and pearl-clutching over drugs in sports now, back in the day, like, dudes were partying hard and then just going back out to play the next day. You know, those championship Mets in the mid-'80s? Those guys were, like, famously...
I think there's a documentary about them.
Yeah.
How much coke they were doing.
Yes. And it was kind of a poorly kept secret, too. Until it becomes a problem. They don't want to know from what you're doing. I was reading about scientists who are preparing for murders in space. It's going to happen. I've seen the movies to that effect. Gonna happen. Somebody's going to get murdered on a space station or somewhere.
Space murder.
And so there are forensic scientists who are studying.
Space Columbo.
Yeah. Oh, just one more thing. With no gravity up here.
How are their footprints? That means the murder was committed on Earth.
Mm-hmm. And then, therefore, subject to Earth justice if
Yes.
it happens here.
Earth justice! When local justice just won't do.
Forensic scientists have revealed how murder would look in space. They're simulating blood spatters. And again, this is one of
Wouldn't
these
it
things.
kind of just like drift off forever, though? How would it splatter?
Well, I think they're talking about in an enclosed space.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, because you would explode if you
Like
moved.
if you spill Tang.
Mhm.
Like,
They're conducting these experiments in reduced gravity. I would think that these scientists that are on that vomit comet, or however they're doing it, they could just study the splatter patterns of their vomit. They wouldn't even need to look. That's probably
splatter patterns. That's great.
that's a different consistency than
Are
blood.
they
but-
on 2 Hours to Midnight this weekend?
Yeah. I'm playing splatter patterns Saturday night, along with all kinds of great stuff. So if you're into them, that is classic deathcore from Tampa. I'll be playing Orange Goblin on Saturday night. Some new stuff from them. A local band called Bleed to Sleep. Bad Brains, Possessed, who are coming to town this fall. A lot of good stuff. And splatter patterns. But they're trying to do this research so that they can get out ahead of it because eventually, obviously, someone will be murdered in space. Now, think about the victim in that situation and the killer in that situation, because both of them will have, that's what they'll be known for. Someone will eventually be known as the first person to be murdered in space.
And the first space murderer.
So what they're doing with this is they're hoping that they will be able to aid the first space detectives. Now, this is where our own Mary Santora comes in.
You know it.
She's already a fish detective,
Yep. And a pioneer lawyer.
a pioneer lawyer,
Yeah.
and not to put too many things on your plate, but hear me out.
Mm-hmm.
You know, detractors and naysayers and people who will call the show occasionally, like Jim yesterday, who will make these thinly veiled insults about like when Mary has to pack it up and come back to Cleveland. I don't foresee that happening. However, I can foresee.
Yeah, you think she's going to die in New York.
Woohoo!
I mean, if you're really serious about it, there certainly
It's the only way.
there seem to be no shortage of ways that you can shuffle off your
New York City.
mortal coil there in Gotham. But might be a situation in which you get a little side hustle going.
Mm-hmm.
And sure, there are no launch pads near New York,
Not one.
but you could find yourself down at Cape Canaveral or somewhere and be in the space detective program.
Listen, I wasn't
I'm
gonna say
listening.
anything. I wasn't going to say anything. But I already am.
You already are part of the space detective program?
I said I
Is it
moved-
rigorous? Is it as
I
rigorous as I
listen.
suspect?
I said I moved to New York for comedy, but this is actually the training hub for the Space Detectives program.
Oh,
There are
so
top
you lied
secret,
to us.
Yes, there are top secret,
No!
high-profile detectives such as myself from all over the country,
Good pun.
and we meet here at iHeart, New York, once weekly and do our space training.
Once weekly.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
It's a lot,
That's it?
dude.
Yeah. For how long? Because it sounds like that would be really, really involved training.
It's like 2 hours per week. It's
2
mostly
2 hours a week.
Yeah, that's it.
Wow.
We're preparing for the future.
Yeah.
It'll ramp up once we get closer to the actual murders.
Future?
I see.
Yeah, to
right.
the future. Once
Yeah.
we get closer to the future. But for right now, it's mostly just an anti-gravity machine and getting our bodies used to that once a week.
Right.
Yeah. And then we'll actually start killing people off here.
Oh,
in
wait.
the-
You're not going to simulate it? You're going to kill
No,
people?
no. We are going to kill people. Yes.
Oh.
I'm
That
probably
makes me
not
less
supposed to be
excited for
telling you.
this.
Why?
Because these other people are using glycerin and food coloring.
No. Because
Oh.
glycerin and food coloring is not the same viscosity as actual warm human blood.
Well, then you add a little bit of something in there. I
You
mean,
can't.
boy,
There's no way
that
to mimic
seems-
it.
Really. Because they seem to be doing it. They're not murdering people, these people
Well,
that are studying this already.
They're not the real detectives.
Oh, they're the decoys.
Yes.
I see. So you guys are doing things like reconstructing the angle of impact and things like that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
A lot of slashing.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of jabbing.
Chopping.
Chopping. Not so much chopping.
Mostly slashing and stabbing.
Jabbing.
Oh, jabbing and slashing.
Yes.
Okay. Well, I have underestimated the degree to which you were going to go in on this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, whose fault is that?
It's mine. I can't see what you're doing there. Well, we only know what you tell
Well,
us.
you can't blame yourself, Alan. She was lying to you. You're getting gaslit by the space detective.
Well, it won't be the first time, and it won't be the last time. All right, well, I hope that you'll, in as much as you can, I hope you'll keep us apprised of your progress. I know I have to think that most of that is top secret. But, just put it in the group chat, whatever,
Well,
Guys, I got a really good couple of jabs in today, that kind of thing.
do you guys want to know who we kill?
No! Wait, aren't you supposed to be solving murders, not committing them?
Well, no, she's got to do it for the...
Kill
you
to
have
get the
to
blood
kill to-
splatter
It's
It's
analysis.
homeless people, isn't
Yeah.
it?
It is not.
No, God, please, no!
Is it people that put their hand over the divider at Chipotle?
Mm-hmm. It's them, and it's also the bottom performing 10% of every market. So, just saying, you guys better keep your numbers up. Otherwise,
What
you'll be
did
making
Wait.
What?
It's
The
tied to
bottom-
iHeartRadio?
Yeah. I mean, isn't everything? We are the world's #1 audio company.
Yeah,
Yeah.
multi-billion-dollar
Uh-huh.
industry. You guys thought I was joking about being best friends with Bobby Pitts.
No, we didn't. We just wondered how often you really ran into him. And I hope he
Well,
doesn't walk
during-
in. Does he
once a week
know?
during the space training program.
Does he know about your jabbing side hustle?
No. He invented the jabbing side hustle.
He invented it.
Yeah,
How many
they
things
call him
this guy
Bobby-
got to invent? He invented music television. He invented, the hell has this guy got?
Up in the simulator, we call him Bobby Splits.
Jesus.
Bobby Splits.
Right, because he likes bananas and ice cream.
Amen.
All right, I got money here for you. It's $1,000. A chance for you to put some in your pocket from the Buzzard bookie, so good luck.
This is your chance to bet with the Buzzard Bookie and win $1,000 now. Enter this nationwide keyword at WMMS.com. Green. That's green. Enter it now at WMMS.com.
So, what am I missing with Aaron Rodgers?
What do you mean?
Well, I mean, there had to be a time when he was just a regular, normal dude, right? I mean, did COVID fry his brain? Has he always been a half-wit? Like, what?
He's been weird
Since COVID.
No, before that. Before that, he was always kind of a...
But look at the
Out there, Joe.
girls that he's had over the years.
What does that
Look
have
at his,
to do with anything?
Well, they'd all have to buy into this nonsense.
Yeah, a lot of people buy into nonsense.
For
But the
money.
girls, he was Olivia Munn.
Yeah,
She's got a kid with Mulaney.
right.
What money? These are successful actresses.
But they're not NFL rich.
Not NFL quarterback
Ah,
rich.
I mean,
He's $100 millionaire.
but what does that have to do with it?
That you'll put up with some BS, man.
But you are
He's gotten
associated
weirder
with,
and
but
weirder.
you are associated with them publicly, and there's a lot of people that want nothing to do with that.
Right, but there's a lot of people that don't care. They,
Olivia Munn,
maybe he slings a good D.
Shailene Woodley. I mean,
Yeah.
she's out there too, so that was probably a match made in heaven.
Isn't Olivia Munn kind of also out there?
I don't know
Yes.
about that. Is she?
Yeah.
How so?
Lots of people have said that she's like kind of all over the place. I mean, she's
Well, I think she's a hot mess, but I mean, I'm talking about like this guy's like, oh, Putin's great. And, he was talking to Tucker Carlson, because Natch, about how he doesn't watch porn because he doesn't want to be tracked. Except everybody, like, data's all out there. I mean, this isn't some big reveal.
There's a lot of people that have a theory on what kind of porn he wants to watch, too, but he's not going to because then they'll be proven right. All the Aaron Rodgers is gay truthers
Why do they think he's gay?
because they don't like his football team. Duh.
Oh, right, yeah.
yeah, it,
Like when Cordell Stewart
Yeah,
back
it's
in the
just
day. Well, he's gay. That's why he's not winning. Oh, that's why? He just spending too much time signing documents? I see. Taking him away from practice?
They could, put some on your computer to cancel you. They could set you up for something.
Oh, of course.
Thankfully, I don't watch porn. I've never been into any weird kinky stuff, and
I think it'd be pretty unwise for a prominent person to get into online porn because all that stuff is monitored.
Yeah.
I mean, what?
What does it matter?
Yeah, that's my question too.
As long as it's not illegal.
What?
It's not like kiddie stuff or, like smut.
I love these
Wait,
people who
is
think
smut
that
when
like
they
they're
kill
being,
'em?
huh?
What's the word when they kill him? Is it smut?
Smush videos, like
No, when they kill him.
snuff videos.
Snuff.
Yeah.
Smut is just porn.
Yeah,
Okay.
smut is your
Okay.
overall umbrella. I was reading about a guy who's into something called splashing. You ever heard of splashing?
Isn't that like an old YouTube channel?
Smosh is what
Oh.
you're thinking of, yeah. This guy pays, he's a Brit, he pays women £100 a week. So no way to know how many quid that is. To pour custard on themselves. Calls himself a splasher. And he said that, listen, and we all know this, sometimes you don't know what you're into until it starts to move. You might see something and go, oh, I didn't expect that to be a thing. And this guy said that he remembered watching a show, though, over there on the BBC that is very similar to back in the day. You can't do that on television. Remember the Nickelodeon show where people would get slimed?
Yeah.
Right? Alanis Morissette and all these people that used to be on this big, when we went to the Nickelodeon resort in Mexico a couple of years ago, you could get slimed. They'd have these giant buckets and sprays of green stuff. And
What
you could
an
go
honor.
get slimed. Oh, you had to make a reservation for it. by
I'm
the way.
sure.
Yeah, so many people. So this guy likes that kind of thing because it gets a boner. And it's called splashing. A person covering themselves in a wet and messy substance in order to get off. So
Great.
There are just so many kinds of trauma. Like, you just can't nail it down. How it manifests.
Wet and
is-
messy?
Yeah.
Yeah, but also I don't know that you can ascribe everything to trauma. Like some people just discover they like something. They go, I had a fine life, but now I like to pay women to get doused in custard.
Alfredo sauce.
He spends between 100 and 200 pounds weekly for women to cover themselves in some kind of gooey sauce and then send him the videos. And he's way into it.
Does he have a particular gooey sauce that he prefers?
I mean, the pictures are all like, remember when Katy Perry got just blasted in the face at the Nickelodeon Awards? Like, it looked painful.
Yeah.
You had to give it up for her because, I mean, obviously she knew it was coming, but you never know. He found a copy of a Splosh magazine on eBay when he was 16 or 17. And he said that he immediately fell in love with it. So, again.
But why do we know?
Huh?
Why do, that's what I...
He wanted, because there are British television shows that are delving into this kind of thing. And just like we have them over here. I'm addicted to eating couch cushions. That's how we know people eat rocks. And somehow don't break all their teeth. This guy likes splashing. Now, I'd never even heard of this before.
No.
Basically, it sounds like a dessert bukkake that gets this guy off. But in a way, and there are people who will rail against this kind of unbridled hedonism, but in a way, I think it's good that there's whatever's weird to me might not be weird to you. I think it's good that these things are available to people. You're not hurting anyone else. I mean, again, you don't have to be Fellini to figure this whole thing out either. I mean, watching girls get splashed in the face and the head with liquid is just, well, of course you like that. Ideally, you'd be doing that. But this guy's paying other people to do it. So he's a job creator.
Man, he must have been losing his mind during that ice bucket challenge a couple years ago.
Yeah. You know how much money that guy raised for ALS research?
Oof.
Yes.
Millions.
Indeed. So, yeah, he, the guys that will buy Mary's foot pics, they'll be like, hey, could you do this? Could you do that? Same thing here. He hits him up. Hey, here's what I'd like. I prefer custard. But if you've got anything along those lines, anything custard adjacent, that's great too.
Boba tea.
And then he asks them, so they do the video, he pays them, they send, and he also says, I'll give you extra money if you send me the knickers that you were wearing in that video, right? It is British. Send me your knickers, and I will pay you a little bit extra. And he said he actually tried asking them to send him the actual custard for a while, but that it spoiled when it was in the... So anyway, that's what this guy is into, and Aaron Rodgers is never going to find that online because he doesn't like porn, because he thinks that people are tracking him. But, man, he doesn't want to get canceled for his porn, I guess. I don't recall anybody famous being canceled for the porn they watch.
Again,
unless it's children.
Right.
Jimmy Savile comes to mind, but he lived an entire life before anybody knew what happened. Nobody found out until he was dead. But perhaps you had never heard the word sploshing, but me describing this, and you're going, oh, my God, that's what I'm into. It's called sploshing. You are a splosher. Maybe you can go forward now, knowing that there's a name to it. Sometimes things don't become real until you put a name to it or you say it out loud. So get out there, find somebody to douse themselves in custard, and go nuts. Have fun. I got a break. You want to send me a text, 35192. You can watch live if you like at alancoxshow.com. And listen wherever you are on the iHeartRadio app.
Rover's Morning Glory.
Jimmy Carter's grandson said yesterday that the former president is, quote, coming to the end. He's been in hospice for how long, and he looks pretty good.
No, he does not look good. I don't know what you're talking about. The guy looks like he's 1,000 years old. What do you mean he looks good?
He's 1,000 years old. He's 99 years old.
She got to get laid. She thinks that guy looks good. I mean,
he's attractive.
Rover's Morning Glory.
Weekdays on 100.7 WMMS and 24/7 on our free iHeartRadio app.
This is Alfred Williams. Here's what's trending on the iHeart Sports Network.
Presented by Live-In Furniture and Mattress.
The entire 2024 NFL schedule is set to drop tonight, and for the first time ever, Netflix will live stream the league's Christmas Day games. There are no international travel games coming up for the Browns this season, but they will host Dallas in one of Week 1's biggest games on Fox. And Cavaliers guard Donovan Mitchell is out for Game 5 in Boston tonight with his calf injury. Jared Allen and Karis LeVert are questionable. I'm Scott Davidson.
The Memorial Day sale is going on now at Levin. Save up to 50% off outdoor and new collections.